So it's March 21st, 2018. I'm going to go quickly over the my trading journal for the S&P and mini futures that I traded today, or starting with the S&P mini futures. Started off early in the morning at around 6, right before the open. Attempted to take a long so we were currently in balance, in a balanced I want to say structure, going into today. From yesterday's balanced area, we still stuck within it. Going into the start of the day, we were near the bottom, the support of the balanced area, or the support area of the balance area. And then I noticed that we had one situation where we tapped around 27.1750, another one where we tapped into 27.1750, 27.17 area. And then so my attempt here before the start of the day was to maybe get a long going into the start of the day at around 27.17. So that's where I initiated my first trade, and got in at I got in at 27.1825. Got stopped that at 27.17. But my thought process was the low risk area that we were in going into the start of the day here at 6.17, and then that failed. Got stopped at 27.17 at 6:30 around the start of the day, so that didn't end up holding. And then as we went along, I then moved down a level down to 27.16 for my next looking for the next opportunity to go long and see where the shorts ended up giving up. And I think I tried a couple more times before I got it right. I tried again at 27.1725 at around 9:36. So a little 6 minutes after the open, I tried again and ended up getting stopped out at 9:44, so 6:44. My stop was too tight and ended up going just breaking even on that trade. I think I should have maybe gone lower, but eventually I probably might have been stopped out at around 6:45. So I was pretty happy with that trade. I think it was a good risk reward scenario. I'm kind of glad I did. Maybe if I would have thought about giving more space, but that would have been a little bit too much risk anyways for that particular trade. Even getting in at 7:27, 17:25, I would have had a stop below 27.15. So 27.15 would have had to bid my stop. Which I guess wouldn't have been that bad, but I'm still pretty happy with that trade. And then eventually we got the second opportunity here at 6:50, a little past 6:50, and this is where I was able to get a really good entry that I was really happy with at 27.17, and I put in a stop at 27.15.75. So decent amount of risk, and ended up just riding it through. We did have this. We almost got stopped out, but luckily I did not move my stop upwards and let it just ride through. We ended up touching 27.16, got back up, and then broke out above this area and ran into 27.26, which was my first target, looking to get out. But then I noticed there was some strength into this and decided to try to get out at 27.27. And we ended up getting out around 27.26.75. And that was my one good trade for the day. But then I decided to trade into the FOMC. So as we went along here, kept track of price. Started my first after FOMC trade at around really fast after, maybe a little bit too quickly after the meeting at 2:07 or 11 here on the chart, 11:07. Got in at a 27:33.75, which was a pretty decent entry for this whole setup, for this whole area that we were in. I mean, we were running into resistance, so I think we had a good risk-reward scenario here at 27:31.50. Also, we had some large amount of volatility going on, at least at that particular point in time, and the trade was working for a while. We came back, we tested 27:33. I mean, these were the levels we were looking at, going into this trade. So that was my reasoning behind getting into this trade, to break out above 27:33, which worked out. But I did lack an area to get out at, and I do believe I got a little bit greedy. I was definitely looking to get into 27:45, maybe even 27:57, but obviously that did not happen. It quickly turned against me, and I failed to get out because I then got hopeful and ended up not doing much at all with my stop, and ended up just letting it stop me out in hope that it would someday go back. But that should have been obvious by the time we got down to 27:33, and should have at least broken even, but did not. And then still caught up with the desire to get my revenge or just participate in this volatility. Ended up trying to participate again, and got in at 27:29. 29.75, and then got stopped out at 27.25 at 2:33. So it worked. It was working. It was holding. And then eventually we got stopped at 27.25. So that was and then right after that, I tried again at 27.34, thinking I had just been stopped out, and maybe it was the time, but I was again wrong and got stopped out at again 27. I got in at 27.32 and got stopped out at 27.75. So obviously I did not learn from my first mistake and kept trying to buy this 27.28 area. Bounce from this area was what I intended to do, which was our area of support going into this trade. Into the thoughts behind this trade was this was an area of support that we could possibly be bouncing off of, and obviously that did not work. And eventually I stopped trying to get a bounce from it. And but then again, I clicked in my head that why not do what had already worked here before in the past, which was by the 27.16 area, which was exactly what I did, and I got in at 27.1650 here, and then put a stop down at 27.13. Stop down here, and then was able to follow it through, and then was hoping for a rally into the close. We did not get it, and as we were making these lower lows and lower highs, I decided to add a stop right below 27.20 in hope that it would stay above this 27.20 area, but eventually we got stopped out here at 27.20.75. And those were my trades for the S&P futures today. And then quickly into oil. Tried to short oil, which was really foolish of me. Sadly, it didn't, and of course it did not work. Oil was very, very strong today, and unbelievably strong. but I did try multiple times to short it. My first one was at the open at 639, 640 almost, at 64.33. So I was looking to short below this area down into 64.20, but that did not happen, and I actually got stopped out at 64.39. And just gonna do some 40. Yeah. Just trying to get my times right here. So it was at 6:39. Yep. So going into the open here, try to short, I don't know why, but I did. And oh, I was looking for a failure in this breakout. That's what I was doing. I was looking for a failure in this breakout, did not get it, ended up getting stopped out at got in at shorted at 64.33, got stopped out at 64.39, and then and this was, you know, going into the inventories report. I was attempting to short down into here before the report, maybe looking for a possible down move, and then maybe let it do whatever it did after the report, but that did not work in my favor. Then try again at around 9:57, so almost 10 o'clock. 7 o'clock here, 64.32. Try to short at 64.32, and then it got stopped out at 64.35. So I kept it very tight all along this area. As we went along here, I stopped out here at this quick bump up, and then eventually it did break down to 64.20, which it held, spiked down quickly below it, held at 64.20. So shorting oil did not work for me today, and should have definitely focused on going long into this day, especially after the report. But then I tried shorting at 64.82 at around 11. So I was looking for an area where oil would get tired, and I was looking to short, but then got stopped out at 64.93, and that also did not work.